Morning, everybody. Producers Club. Happy Friday. It's going to be a fun session today with Vanessa Montiel. Vanessa, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good to have you. Thanks for joining, and I'll do a little spotlight for you over here. Vanessa, even though it doesn't look like it, you've been doing real estate for a long time, right?
Yes.
And it's a long time. It's I always consider it like, more than 5 years. Okay, it's what you meant to do. Over 10 years, this person is a professional, full-time, can't go back, right? So would love to hear from you a little bit about your kind of journey. How did you go into real estate, and fast forward until today, Vanessa?
Okay, awesome. Well, I started about 15 years ago. I had a mobile notary business, and when I had that business, I was signing all these loan documents, and one day an agent asked me, "Why aren't you doing real estate? You should be doing real estate instead of doing mobile notary." So then I looked into it and got my license, was an assistant for a little bit, and then jumped right into it. And ever since then, I've enjoyed the business.
Yeah, well, that was a once again, Vanessa in a super small nutshell, right? So what do you consider the most impactful part in your career, right? That led you to be the person that you are today? And just kind of quick, in brief, you're full-time agent, right? You're a top producer, you're a capper, you're a mentor. You have your own team. You run a full-time household as well, right? And that's what I know of. I don't know if what's besides that. So it's a full-time business. So what was the most impactful part of your journey so far that made you who you are today?
I would say definitely giving back to my community. I think that the bigger that my business is, the bigger that I can give back to my community. Philanthropy is really important to me. So that's why I enjoy being a mentor, because I love to give to others. So for me, it's not necessarily about the dollar amount. It's about however big I am, that's however big I can help other people.
Right. And is this something that you've acquired throughout the years in real estate, or prior to that?
I think it's something that's definitely grown. I have, for a short period of time, I was a single mom myself in real estate. So I know what it was like to have that struggle of being a single mom. Who's going to watch my child? How am I going to grow my business? And I saw the struggle and the lack of resources out there. So for me, I want to be the resource to people. And then through UCLA, because I'm a graduate of UCLA, I've been involved in different organizations, which just has impacted me even more.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, that makes sense. When if you had to go back and think about those times that you're, struggled or it was, somewhat challenging, what was driving you the most, really, on a daily basis to keep going and not giving up, or maybe, hey, maybe I can do something else, right?
I think the freedom to have a balanced life for my family, because a lot of times people think, oh, okay, I'm gonna quit real estate and then go get this job, and then you're gonna have this job that you're gonna work from like 9 to 5 and go up the pay scale like 40 cents, every 2 years, where I feel like here in real estate and with KW having the tools to create a big business, you are the one in control of your income. You're the one in control of your life. You're the one in control of how balanced you want everything to be.
Yeah, so it's about just, take control and be in charge of your own path, pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah, well said. What is it? Share with us what is it that you're doing today in your business? What are you focusing on mostly? And I'll ask more questions kind of throughout.
Right now I'm focusing on building my team. That's one of my priorities. I have been in the business for a while, so I do have a ton of leads coming in, and there's only one of me. So I definitely want to grow my team along with, I've been dealing a lot with probates and then the higher end properties.
Right. And then how do you get your business? What are you focusing on? I mean, naturally, 15 years in the business, you have repeat business, right? Clients that coming back and what have you.
Mhm.
But is that your niche, or what are you kind of focusing on right now, mostly after being 15 years and you kind of figure out what's your niche might be?
Well, my sphere is definitely the biggest part of it. I'm part of several large networks. So that's one part of it. And then the listings and the open houses that I get from that as well.
Right. How did you overcome pandemic with no open houses?
So that was interesting. There was like a week of nothing going on. And I was like, okay, I've been through this before where the market has shifted. If I revisit what I did then, what will I do now? So I just heavily involved myself in every type of education out there, whether it was with the city, whether it was with KW. I wanted to know everything that was going on with COVID, how they were helping the community. And then from there, I took that information and reached out to my sphere. I have clients who are business owners. I have clients who are property owners. I have clients that have rentals. I have clients that, their work was on pause. So I became the resource for them of information. And with that, it really poured back into me.
Yeah, that's smart. Was that the first time that you had that kind of a mindset, or you utilized that prior to, let's say, 2020?
I utilized that prior. So when the market shifted back in, I think like 08, I shifted my business to short sales. Short sales is what I was focusing on. And my business at that time was predominantly notice of foreclosures and short sales.
Right. Yeah. Because, be position yourself as a resourceful agent. It's more than just, I'm just doing contracts, right?
Right.
So you mentioned you work into to build your team, grow your team, right? You're also a full-time mentor. You have more than a handful of mentees that you're focusing on, and you're dedicating a lot of time. Thank you for doing that, right? That's back, that's also part of you giving back to the office and to others. Are you following the KW model? Do you look up to other agents, how they work? Do you have your own style of how you want to grow yourself?
I think I'm still trying to figure that out. I am trying to follow the KW model. I think the challenge that I've had is finding agents that want to stay in the business. I think especially during the pandemic, a lot of people, their job was on hold. And so they thought, okay, let's join real estate. And then they joined real estate. And then once everything opened, they've kind of said, oh, I think I want to go back to my old job.
Yeah, it was a very challenging a year. I wouldn't say more than that, because on the other hand, it was one of the best years ever in the business and for a lot of agents, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all that kind of consistency, and talking about consistency, grit, right? You've been mastering it for a long time. Once again, because no matter what, Vanessa is going to show up. You're going to show up. She's going to perform. You're going to figure out what it is. It might be quiet sometimes, might be busier at different times. So you're always going to keep going.
Yeah.
If you had to talk to yourself 10 years ago, what would you what kind of advice would you give yourself?
To stay consistent. I think a lot of times people think, okay, I'm going to do this for like a month, or I'm going to do this for a couple weeks. And I think the best results just come when you just stay focused on the action. When you stay focused on the action and you're disciplined with it, you will see that it keeps rolling in, rolling in.
Right. And from your experience, did you ever get a no, or I don't want to work with you, or whatever, like anything kind of a negative reaction or behavior on the other side?
Yes, I have. I have many times. I that's actually one of the first conversations I have with people joining my team, that, this business is not always yes, it's always no's. We're looking for the yeses. So the no's should not phase us.
Yeah, and what goes on your mind when you are coming across with that kind of negativity or pushback, or the no? Like, how do you approach it?
I always take everything as a learning experience. So for me, if someone says no, I figure out, well, where was the gap for myself? Like, where could I have improved? What could I have done so that next time the no becomes a yes? And even though it's a no, I have still followed up with people and still gotten a transaction from it.
Yeah, yeah. Consistency once again. What kind of a conversation you have today with clients? Let's start with sellers, right? Potential home sellers, right? How would you reach out to them? What do you say? Of course, this is a seller's market still, so it's a bit easier conversation than it was in the past, but still, how would you approach? How would you, right now talking to one of your agents, right? How would you coach them to say what and to do what?
No, exactly what you said, that right now, it's a seller's market. There's a lot of equity in so many people's homes, and there's not enough inventory. So we have a ton of buyers out there with lower interest rates than we've ever had, and they're eager to purchase.
And same question. Oh, actually, I'm going to continue. Okay, but what if I hear you? I sold, got amazing, some pocket change, but where would I go?
Well, where do you want to go? Are you thinking of moving to a different city, getting a bigger home? Why would you want to sell?
And you see, I can continue that conversation, right? But what she's going to do, because I know Vanessa, she's going to keep asking me the questions, right? So the art of asking question, it's a substantial piece in the mastery of negotiations, right? Be a good negotiator. Thanks, Vanessa. So same question about buyers. I'm a buyer right now. I'm desperate to find the house of my dreams. I'm calling you. Then what?
Well, I'm honest with them. I do tell them that it's a competitive market out there. I don't want my buyers to go in thinking like that they are going to get this house, $20,000, $30,000 under listing price. So I tell them it's competitive. The interest rates are low, so affordability for them is a lot higher. Therefore, finding a property in an area that they would want is a lot more doable than waiting till the interest rate raises.
You never experienced fear of some kind to lose a potential client, meaning to lose a long-term business, right, or a commission?
Yes, I have.
But so how do you approach that? If you had the conversation, would you still be very honest about what you're going to say, or you're going to be like?
Yes, and I'm honest with them about their commitment of working with me as well, because I feel like it's a two-way relationship. I mean, we all want the business, but I don't want to work with someone who doesn't want to work with me, and I don't want to work with people that I don't want to work with. So for me, I think I have the luxury of being able to be selective as well.
And thank you for saying that. And is this something that you've learned recently, or when it was kind of registered? I need to be pickier, or I maybe deserve to be, you know.
I think it's been in the last like few years. I've decided that it took a long time to get there because you're always thinking you don't want to lose a business. And then when you come from a scarcity mindset, then there's scarcity. So I come from an abundant mindset. So there's abundance of clients out there.
Exactly. Yeah. And is that something that you've been coached on? Is that just your life experience? How did you come up with that? Because nobody's, born with that kind of mentality. You have to build it up.
Yes, I 100% believe in like self-development. And coaching. So I've had MAPS coaches. I've been to Tony Robbins events, to his whole mastery. I read a ton of books. So for me, education and growing never ends.
Well said. What would you recommend to someone who's starting her business today? Maybe dual career, maybe full-time, jumping into business. What's your coaching pitch?
My recommendation is to, especially if someone has a dual career, is to get out their calendar, fill in their calendar with where their other career is at. And then from that point, space out all the time, because I believe in balance. So space out all the time that you can dedicate to real estate. And then once you space out that time with real estate, divide it pretty much in 3 categories: education, marketing, and lead generation. If you focus on those 3 things and space them out evenly throughout your calendar, over time, with consistency and discipline, your business is going to grow. And then hopefully you can leave your other career and full-time in real estate, and then increase those timeframes.
That's awesome. And marketing, whoever is following Vanessa on social media, feel free, Vanessa, to put your links if you want. You're having fun with Instagram, all those videos or what have you, right?
Mm-hmm.
TikToks, you're a TikToker. How do you how would you like to be perceived, right? When someone is watching you, following you, what's the message that you're trying to working on sending out there?
Well, just that I am a normal person like you. I think the challenge that a lot of people have is they have these like glamorized shows out there that perceive real estate to be a certain way. And maybe it is, but for me, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I give back to my community. I'm a businesswoman, I'm Latina, I love to exercise, eat healthy. So that's what you'll find on my page.
And I see from time to time you and your team members also having fun when you're hosting open houses. Or new listings or whatever. You've been very creative as well.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. What's your Instagram URL?
Vanessa Montiel /realtor.
Yeah. So follow Vanessa. What are your goals? What's Vanessa's goals for 2022?
For 2022, my goals are to add 3 more people to my team, to triple our production, and to hire like 1 staff member at least.
Yeah, which you've been working consistently this past year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Do you usually manifest towards where you're heading? Do you sit down and just make those notes, or how do you build your the 12 months or more goals? What's your system like?
I attend the business planning clinic. For me, that's very important, knowing your numbers, knowing where you're at, knowing what you need to do to get to where you need to go. That's very, very important. I wake up every morning with affirmations, setting my goals. Sunday nights, I set my intention for the week. So that's another thing that I do. So those are just little actions that I put into place that take me a big step forward.
What does that mean? Intentions for the week.
So I plan out my week as far as like my scheduling, who I'm meeting with, how many appointments I intend to get, what my goal is, how many listings, how many people I'm going to talk to.
And how do you measure? I mean, do you go back and compare this? That was my plan for the week, and I hit the goals, didn't hit the goals. You just keep going.
Well, I've taken bold a ton of times. So I'm a big bold lover. So anyone who hasn't taken bold, take bold. I'm a true believer in the 20 contacts a day. So I feel like if you want to be a top producer, you should be having 20 real estate conversations, not, just 20 calls, like 20 real estate conversations a day. So that is pretty much the rule that I live by. I call and speak to 20 people a day about real estate.
Yeah, that's huge. How do you balance or find the harmony between personal life, mom life and business?
It's something I'm always working on because I feel like it's ever changing. But a calendar, I mean, I calendar everything. And again, going back to bold has really helped me with that. Bold talks about color coordinating your calendar, and so in my calendar, I have like all my personal things, a certain color, my lead generation, green, certain things, red. That really helps. I'm a very visual person. So that helps me see, like, if I'm thinking like, oh, wow, I haven't spent time with my son lately. And I look at my calendar, I see there's like less of one color. I know that I haven't been putting them in. So then I adjust my calendar.
Yeah, color coding is huge. I'm using the same system as well since I took bold the first time. So it definitely works.
Mm-hmm.
More systematic. Vanessa is based out of the West Side office, our KW West Side in Westwood Village. And what's your territory like business-wise? Are you focusing on specific areas? What's your
No, I actually don't necessarily focus on one specific area. I myself have lived in the San Fernando Valley. That's where I grew up, and that's where my business started. So a lot of my clients came from there. And then from the San Fernando Valley, I moved to the West Side for a short period of time, and then to the South Bay. So I feel like I've lived in several different areas that are not close to each other. And with that being said, that my clients have grown in each of these areas. And then throughout LA as well.
Yeah. So it was more like organic growth, right? Versus just focusing on different areas. It's just happened like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you farm specific area? I used to in the past?
Yes, I do farm specific areas. I farm by where I live in Redondo Beach, and then in the valley.
Got it. So you're still keeping that consistent, skill. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's great. When it comes to servant leadership, right? You've been for a few years also a board member, right? At least in the West Side, I'm not sure if different offices in the past. You served on the ALC, our Agent Leadership Council. Someone who starts in the business, so someone that more resonate with in the business full time, busy with different things, right? Sometimes we think I don't really have time. I have an escrow going right now, right? My life are busy. What message would you, send out to people about adding more on their plate? Is that why do you even do that? What's the reason for that?
That's a tricky question. I feel like I love being busy, so that's part of who I am, I think. And adding more to my plate gives me more energy, I feel. So the more energy I have, the more energy that goes into everything that I do. So for me, it's not necessarily about not having time. It's about how I'm making time and what I'm prioritizing of what's important to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also there's a reason that they say, if you want to get, when I have something done right or fast, give it to someone busy, right?
Oh, and the other thing is that leverage. So that's been a huge goal and shift in my business is I've been leveraging a lot of tasks that I shouldn't have to do to other people. So it allows me to do things that I enjoy doing.
Such as?
Installing lock boxes, showing appointments, even personal life, like picking up my kids. I think that now I've just gotten to the point where there's just things that I'm able to leverage out or ask for help. And that was hard for me in the beginning. I felt like I had to do it all.
Yeah. And that's, how long of a process was that? Because you also have to release control, right? Yeah. And agents are, known for being control freaks.
Mm-hmm.
So was that also just you're brave enough to, I'm just going to trust someone, or how did that work for you?
Well, there's definitely an interview process for all of those things. I just don't let just anyone in my circle. So I think that is important if you're going to be picking up my children. I want them to be safe, and I want someone dependable and someone reliable, and someone that's on my team. I want someone that is willing to work and disciplined and trustworthy and transparent. So there's an interview process definitely for the people that help me.
Yeah, that's great. What's the best way to reach out to you, Vanessa? If someone will reach out and have a conversation or interview or what have you.
My phone number. So you can reach me at 424-335-5636.
5636.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. Thanks for sharing. And kind of, last sentence or whatever you, last thoughts, if you want to share with us on the call, whoever's watching us and going to watch later on.
My last thought would be to set a goal, write it down, put it somewhere where you can see it, and create actionable items that you can take every day to obtain your goal, and you'll get there.
Yeah. And taking action, pretty much, that's the what makes a difference, right? Between thinking about success, which is the first part of it, and gain success, achieve success, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you still have your vision board somewhere?
I do. I have like a vision. Actually, I'm at home right now. So I have a whiteboard in my bedroom that I wake up to every day that I write, because like I said, I'm a very visual person. So I write and have all kinds of things on it.
So keep adding to your whiteboard, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Well, I might take you on that and have a vision board session at the office, Vanessa.
Yes, definitely. I actually plan on having one. So whoever would like to join early January, I'm going to have a vision board in the West Side office.
Done deal. Question over here? Yes.
What do you do in your farm to get business? What are you doing?
I have a buyer letters. So I have a buyer letter. I'm also big on like what's going on in the neighborhood. I think it depends on the area. Like I know for Redondo Beach, it's a very family oriented area. So there's a lot of family events. So Christmas and November, there's a ton of things going on. So just letting the community know what's going on in the area.
Yeah. Once again, just be a source of news.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime to the people. Question over here? Okay. All right. A lot of thank yous on the chat. Vanessa, always a pleasure. Thank you for sharing. Keep it up, and thank you for making it. I know that you're a little bit under the weather and you still showed up to deliver, as we would guess anyway. So thank you for that. Keep inspiring us and keep doing a great job, Vanessa.
Great. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.